All right. Hi, everybody. Ali Alcoholic. Teresa, I should have pressed record for that. I didn't press record for that. Yeah, okay. Either way, so I'll give you a little bit how it's going to go, as Teresa said, around step 11, your experiences around step 11, please. 3 minute gentle, Kuna's going to come up with his gentle voice, just saying time up after 3 minutes. Just wrap it up at that time if you don't mind. I'm going to do a little thing at the beginning right now, just to give you a history of it. And then Teresa is going to finish us off with 10 or 15 minutes of how the Spirit moves her. And we all know how the Spirit moves her. It's powerful. So can't wait to hear you guys. Just a little history of it. So I remember last year, I don't know, April or March, whenever it was, when COVID like really hit and all the meetings closed down. There was our home group was trying to struggle to get online, and we're trying to figure that out. And thank God I sort of had some Zoom experience along with Teresa for a few years before that, doing a couple of things. And there was a prayer in me. I remember exactly where I was. I was sleeping with in my son's room because I was snoring and my wife had to go to work the next day. So I was sleeping in my son's room in the bottom bunk, and I was just sitting there, and there was a prayer inside of me. And what I have learned, by the way, is that prayer is not necessarily confined to spoken word. A prayer is a desire that's inside the soul. It's a desire to serve. That's been my experience to God and his other kids. And there's a prayer inside of me that how can I serve? How can we add to our community in these tough times? And I knew there's going to be so many amazing people coming with step studies and meetings, and just what came to me was the meat and potatoes of what we do. A step 11 meeting. We talk about a relationship with God, because from my experience, this is what this whole deal is, to continue to cultivate and deepen this relationship with this loving power, and then to get direction how to serve. That's what has given my life a great deal of sense of purpose, and meaning. So, and I remember and Teresa is like, she gets my calls often. We talk a lot. She's a dear friend of mine. And she gets my calls when I'm 2 a.m. here, because like she's 3 hours behind. So it's all good, So at 2 a.m, I'm texting her. I'm like, I got this idea. And immediately she's like, that's amazing. I'm going to send you some money to help with the Zoom thing. I'm like, hold up. Hold up. So right off the bat, and then her and I continue to pray and meditate and consult each other and others. And the Spirit spoke, and she really, the Spirit really spoke through her. And the format that you see is actually mostly Teresa, the format of it. And just an example of what God does with each and every one of us. It's from my experience again, that in this program, I am present to my insignificance and my significance at the same time. How on my own power, I drink and drug, want to kill myself. Or if I'm sober on my own power, all I care about is what you think about me, how to look good, how I can get one up on you. But with God, how he uses us, how he uses us to move mountains. And this is just one simple example. And every single speaker that we've gotten, every single decision that was made, it was through prayer, meditation, and guidance. And if you notice, the speakers that, I just want to touch on this and one more thing, and I'll sit down. Thank you for allowing me longer than 3 minutes. Like I was thinking about, what is it about the messengers that we've invited that just is so attractive to everybody, or I think the only analogy that makes sense to me is that, like music, right? Music is soul food. Everybody loves music. Music feeds the soul. What feeds the kind of music that one person may like may not speak to me. You know what I mean? Like I may not like heavy metal, but someone else just loves it. It feeds their soul, right? But then there's certain kinds of music, or not even, certain kinds of songs that comes out of certain genres that transcend all of that. And no matter what genre of music you listen to, when you listen to Bob Marley, you're feeling that thing. Doesn't matter if you like reggae. It's just an example, right? So I believe the speakers that have spoken to us through prayer and meditation sort of fit in that category. They transcend genres. And the reason for that is because they speak truth from a place of kindness and humility. So that's the one thing. And there's so many things that I could talk about, how it's been like I've grown in so many ways and transformed, but I just wanted to pick one thing, just one thing. I wanted to thank you all, because as a result of the interactions with you, just you showing up here, the acknowledgement on our Facebook page, your kindness, has transformed me. I've become kinder because of you. I've become more humble in the last year because of you. I've started to realize how much a smallest act of kindness can literally change the trajectory of somebody's day and therefore life. And I've experienced that through the kindness you guys have given me and our team. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to show me once again how this spiritual path of ours, at the end of the day, it's got to translate to a way of being, a transformation. And I think one of the most profound ways that God shows up is in kindness, is the kindness that we show each other. So thank you. I love you. God bless you. I'm done. All right. So now we're going to please raise your hands. How you raise your hands is electronically. If you click on the reactions button, you can raise your hands that way. And I think that's the only way. It's way too big of a crowd. I had chosen somebody who's been with us here almost from day one, but that person that responded to me, I don't see them here. So I'm just going to pick this first hand that put their hand up. Again, please be mindful of the 3 minutes. Kuna is just going to gently come up and say your time's up. Just wrap it up after that. You don't have to stop right away, but just wrap it up after that. Thank you so much. And Tanya, come on up, please.
Hold on one second before Tanya comes in. I want to reiterate that it's not necessarily just an open sharing meeting, because that's not what we've been doing all year, right? It's not to educate everybody on what step 11 is, because most of the people here have an experience, and those who are new, you certainly have. Would hope you can't tell us what it is. But it's okay also to ask questions. Some people have spoken are at our meetings. That's okay too. But really, I invite you to just pray and meditate before you even raise your hand or think about it, of sharing your experience, with what you've experienced this year with the speakers, and your practice, your 11-step practice. If you can do that in 3 minutes, you can talk about books that you used, ritual practices that have enhanced your relationship with God. So that is the focus and the attention. Please, please, please keep it to that. Step 11 only. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In addition to that, how step 11 practice has transformed your life, for example, an area of your life during the year. Okay, Tanya, come on up, please.
Well, hi, everyone. I am Tanya, I'm an alcoholic, and thank you for the opportunity to share and be of service. The past year has been my sobriety. I just turned 1 March the 8th. And I have something that I did not have before. With 23 years of sobriety, I was always searching, which one fits, which thing fits, confused and mixed up. And this past year, it's like I've been on a path and I have found something in this book, Tapping the Power Within. And it has just lit up my life. I have a gratitude list that I do, this book called The Magic, and it's about gratitude. And the days I don't do it, I can tell a distinct difference between the days I do. When I get up and have my coffee and, just keeping, I call it the peeve and pray, because I'm an older woman. So you gotta jump up, go to the bathroom, make the coffee, get the book, get the journal. I try to do at least 10 things I'm grateful for. And then I say, thank you after each one. And I pray, whatever's on my heart, like doing a little 86 through 88, checking in with God, asking to remove fears and angers, and just being so grateful for the birds. Hummingbird is special to me, and I'll see hummingbirds in the morning. And I thank my Creator for those. And I see sparrows, and it reminds me of my mother. And I hear them just singing, and they'll come and hop all around me. And I say hello to my mother, because her favorite song to sing in church was His Eye is on the Sparrow. And it gives me peace. And I have a faith that has done miracles for me, God has provided for me. I have, done prayers and had faith, and sometimes been led by the nose with my sponsor, learning how to do this step and to be conscious of it and see what happens. When I first started coming to this meeting, I was, I felt bored. I was like, why do they think this is so spiritual? I don't feel it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh my God, that speaker was amazing. What happened? Oh my God. And my
Time's
sister in
up.
sobriety said, it's because of the change in you. The speakers haven't changed. It's what's opened up in you. So thank you. Thank you for my sobriety.
Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate you. Carrie White, come on up, please.
Hi. I suppose I should do my video here. Hello. I wasn't feeling great today, and I was lying down, and Lars said, "You got to come to the Step 11." I'm like, "How can I say no? I'm here and grateful." Thank you, Ollie. You made me cry with your your intro and the gratitude. Step 11 for me has been one step that it is that we grow along spiritual lines. It insists that we improve, and it has really been the focus of me coming to this meeting to pay attention to my improvement and not rest on my laurels for step 11. And when I was new, I had a project to do, and I was really stuck, and my sponsor just randomly, we say there's no coincidences, that's God's way of being anonymous, called me and asked me how I was doing. I said, I'm really in a black hole here, and I have to finish this project. She said, oh, did you ask God to help you for the power to carry it out? And I was like, no, I forget, and I remind myself every day that I am to, and I've heard this through Ralph, through Teresa, through you, invite God in. And what has been my big spiritual transition through this prayer and the workshop and Steve and Ralph on Wednesday evenings, because I was diagnosed with particular lung illness, COPD thing, and I use the set aside prayer where it says our disease. I use that, the COPD, that I don't know, and to give me an open mind. And the set aside prayer has been a miracle for me this year. And I got it from you. I got it from you. I got it from the workshop, and I hear it all the time. And I just want to say that step 11 has made me a kinder person. To maybe if I'm growing along spiritual lines, and it's one day at a time, I have to grow along spiritual lines one day at a time. Not I did something last week or I did something a year ago. And sometimes it's just not honking my horn at somebody who's taking a little too long to make a right-hand turn when I'm running late. And so step 11 is the real guide for keeping me in line and improving. Thank you, Alcoholics Anonymous, for point that I stay sober, and purpose that I help the other alcoholic who still suffers. And I love you guys more than my front teeth.
Thank you, Carrie. Deborah, gorgeous, come on up, please.
Ali, thank you. Hi, I'm Deborah, grateful, gorgeous alcoholic. You guys are drop dead gorgeous. I really loved your share, and I just saw the flyer. And thank you, Teresa, for all the service that you do. Wow, improvement. Step 11 is one of my favorite steps because my sponsor, she literally gave me a 10th and 11th step partner so I wouldn't go back into isolation. And we had to write it out and looking at, was I thinking of myself most of the time? Am I kind and loving? What could I have done better? And if I awaken, when I awaken, I consider my plans for the day. That is so empowering right there. So whatever occurs, God can adjust me to fit him, and I bring the consciousness of God in all my activities. So, I really know that as I go through the day, when I'm doubtful or agitated, see, if I'm armed with facts about myself, that I really know that selfishness, fear, dishonesty, and self-seeking coexist with my loving part of me, the part of me that I'm entering into that morning, then that's how I can pause. If I'm not aware of my condition, then I'm going to be reacting and not being responsible. And I don't like embarrassing myself. So that's a good thing that my ego have done, is those writer's cramps, telling on myself. See, because sometimes when you think you're looking bad, you're looking good around here. Yes, I was still selfish. Yes, I was being dishonest. Yes, I was. Do an apology and given the power, the knowledge of his will, and the power to carry that out. It's been awesome. I'm no longer trying to get life to suit my ways. That's the amazing part. Oh my God, I love that. I'm not burning up energy foolishly as I did when I was trying to arrange life to suit me, because it didn't work. And I love the fact that this works. I'm a team player. I'm staying. Welcome anyone on here. I love you. You can't do nothing about it. And I really needed this meeting because I'm getting ready to speak at 6, and I have to do another meeting after that with the LA Central Office commitment that I have. See, and I get to invest in my spiritual life. I get to deposit into my spiritual life, because I wasn't really that willing, but just hearing about this, it was like excitement. That's what the fire is in AA. We inspire each other. So thank you for being here and letting me share.
Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate you being here. Brother Calvin, come on up, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Calvin, and I'm an alcoholic, and it's good to be here. And thank everybody for sharing. Ollie, thank you. Thank Teresa. I learned who you guys. I met you guys through Teresa. When we first went to Zoom, Teresa was our first speaker at our group, first or second. I think she was the first speaker, and we met Teresa through Candace, and through that connection, and Teresa came and she rocked the house, right? And then she introduced me to you guys, and I've been coming here ever since. And every speaker who has come here has altered my life. The last year has been the best year of my life because of Zoom. Because if it wasn't for Zoom, I couldn't have not met all the people I've met this year, especially in this group here. And I think about this. When I first came to Alcoholics Anonymous, I was a peewee in the program. And there was a guy in here named Sonny Johnson. I can say that now because he's gone. And Sonny would talk, and he would say something. Sonny would go all over the world. He was a New York City cop. He had killed some people in a black house. And Sonny would talk, and I wouldn't understand a word he was saying, but I felt every word. And that's what Ali was talking about. When it goes past your intellect and into your soul. And that's what I got every time that I come here. I need that transformation, not the information as much. And the transformation gives me something that, I've been praying, I've been meditating and praying all off for 35 years. And I think about for the last year, coming to this particular meeting, my spirit has grown twice as much in this 1 year than it has in 10 years. I've been praying. I got a prayer partner. We pray, we meditate every morning. We don't talk. When I come on at 7 o'clock, he waiting on me. And we go on and we just meditate. First, we started off with 15 minutes. Now we're up to a half an hour. Things have been dropped into my soul that I just can't even understand. Truth came where I know that my amends has gotten deeper, that I need to go back and speak to some folks. Because through the fact that God has revealed, like you was talking about earlier, Ali, what I need to do. And then don't be where I want to beat myself up and say, wow, God, how you make that mistake? It'd be, I am glad to go back, because I know once I remove more records between that blocks me from the sunlight of the spirit, I'm going to have more peace. This has been a rough year. We got a son that had some issues, and the people like Rico and all these people I met through this meeting here has altered my life. And I'm so grateful. And I don't want to take up a lot of time because I know a lot of people need to talk. But my God, the most powerful thing I tell them, and I love my wife, I love my children, but my God is the most important thing to me because it makes the rest happen.
Time's up.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Good.
Thank you, Calvin. Great to hear, brother. Jim W. Bracebridge, come on up, please.
Thank you very much, guys, for doing this and for your service. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic and my name is Jim. And some time ago, I realized that I wasn't happy with some of my thinking, and especially in relation to a certain someone in my family. And I wasn't sure what the deal was or what I should be doing about it. And probably around the same time I joined this group, and I found countless speakers that were singing the praises of not just prayer but of meditation. And I realized that meditation was something that I was very short on. In fact, I really didn't even meditate at all. And some of the speakers, or one of them, had talked about going online on YouTube and finding really good meditations, and I found a really good one online, a good 11th step meditation, and I started doing that every morning. And I started realizing that the thoughts that I wasn't happy with were driven by self-pity and self-seeking motives. And the longer I've been doing this meditation each morning, the more that I feel like I am improving my conscious contact with God. And it makes such a huge difference in my outlook and in my thinking. And I definitely attribute it to a better connection with my higher power. And in fact, this person in my family, I find my attitude has improved just huge, and it has meant so much to me. The other thing that I've been really hoping for, I just moved recently to a new area, and I've been really hoping that I could maybe sponsor somebody. So, and I figure I can probably pray about that, because I can pray for myself if somebody else might be helped. At least that's what the book tells me. And what do you know, the other week, a new person showed up at our meeting, and we talked after and set up a meet and today, and we had a beautiful walk and talk. I invited my higher power into it, and with a new and improved attitude and a new and improved connection with my higher power, I'm happy to say that person asked me to sponsor them. And I was so happy and so thankful that I can help somebody else. So much of it is coming to this 11th step meeting and learning that even after 15 years, I can. There's still a lot of work to be done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you, man. Mr. Ralph White, would you come on up, please?
My name is Ralph White. I'm an alcoholic. Kuna, you got the hardest job here right now, because I know I can look at you, and personality wise, you're not fit to be a cop, and so that's hard for you. I hope I'm not going to make it that hard for you, because people tend to give me too much. Don't trip. Just give me the hook. You know what I'm saying? The 11th step, it's I like the fact. Oh, T, I gotta apologize because I didn't call you yesterday. Happy birthday. I've been kicking myself all day, and I've been meaning to call. But as it relates to the 11th step, I've been in a lot of stuff. In life. Sometimes when it talks about pause, when agitated or doubtful, I usually think about I'm in conflict with somebody, or do I need to cuss? No, sometimes I get agitated by being overwhelmed with everything that's going on, and not being able to manage situations. Even it could be work situations. Not everything is emotional stuff. And right now, I got a lot of you know the benefits of being sober. Which is working and having stuff that's going on, and a lot of the stuff that's going on is going sideways. And so I'm really in the way life looks to me. I'm in the okay. And this is the critical part. I don't know if anybody else does this, but when I sit in this platform or when I go to meetings, it's easy to talk about. We let God discipline us in this. But when I'm in some deals going on around, sometimes the idea of okay, constantly reminding myself, your will, not mine. Sometimes that's not second nature. The good news about doing this consistently is it moves up into becoming almost a reflex. The hardest thing I had when it came to step 10 and 11, if you knew, I was even listening to Ali when he was sharing. And I am the kind of guy, I always say it, I'm a cynic and I'm a skeptic and I'm a scoffer. And I'm not one that is easily emotionally available like that. And so when I see people who present as godly and holy, I I pull back and I get skeptical of that and I get suspicious of it. What does that mean for me? My journey has been one because I know I think like that. It has taken me a while to embrace because I don't want somebody to look, oh, there he go. You know how people go in the pen and carry a Bible under their arm 2 weeks later. I would say that in alcoholics, and oh, here they go. Just now coming up, and now everybody carrying a Bible. But the good news, you guys, that's not a deterrent to spiritual experience. That's not a deterrent. And I'm a worldly indeed guy. I'm not I like hands dirty. And I like, and it really don't matter whether I like it or not, because I scrape my knees. I do it. I'm gonna get out of here, Kuna, I promise. But one of the things that really gets to a guy like me, I'm gonna stay inside the lines to you, this 11 step me, is when I see people like us, for real, wanting their lives to be changed and transformed through turning it into some other power. When Teresa made the announcement, let's stay between the lines, and the first person that came up with was Tanya, and I'm like, we getting ready to go outside the lines right now. And I gotta tell you, Tanya, I am so proud and amazed by you, and I am so glad that you guys are not subject to Ralph White's judgment. I am so glad that the world does not operate under what my conceptions are. I'm so glad that God don't need my permission to be God. Deborah, you just brought it so cold for me tonight. You lit me up. You were so clear, and you were so and who we are. You know what I'm saying? We are not walking in here. When we come to a meeting, we don't have, we're not walking down the aisle in church robes singing. No, we coming up in here from where we come from. We are drunks and smokers and hustlers and former ladies of the eat. We them people. But something happens where we want to get up in the morning and say, God, direct my day. Where does that come from? Well, we want to stop when we get ready to cut somebody out. And we say, okay, God, your will, not mine. Where does that come from? Well, we go to bed at night and for real, we say, what could I have done better in the day? And I'm gonna thank you for giving me some rhythm. Here's the kicker of it all. and we see the results of it. And for those who, and you guys, what I appreciate about you is you don't talk to me holier than thou. You don't make it look like you got to have angel wings, because I'm not the angel wings guy. You know, I'm not the mushy guy. You know, I'm me. And but guess what? You can be you, whoever you are, this fairly new in this platform, that looks at the people you call heavyweights and think that you got it in you. You got it in you. You got coachability, you got teachability, but most of all, you got graceability. Everybody here. You know, I've gone too long. Kuna gave me a pass. Thank you guys. And thank Ali and T and all the trusted servants. You know, thank you for a bomb year. Thank you for the conception, for the idea, and for the persistence in carrying it out. You know, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate you, brother. And Ralph has been a big supporter of ours. He spoke at this meeting a couple of times. Just give him a little bit leeway. Just you guys know why. So thank you so much for allowing us for that. Thank you, Ralph. Alex, come on up, please.
Thank you so much. I'm Alex. I'm an alcoholic, and I've been coming to this meeting almost from the beginning. I think I heard Teresa maybe in April, whenever that was, and I just got really hooked. I heard her. It was a beautiful share. I saw her soul. I felt her soul, and I came back. And there's something about this meeting. I think the next week I then went to a Father Bill W. workshop. And then a few weeks later, I went to Ralph's Big Book workshop. So that triumvirate of meetings has become a regular thing for me. And I heard so many good things that I've been able to apply. And one of the key things was hearing Steve Lee talk about discipline, that I don't struggle with prayer and meditation. I struggle with the discipline to attempt my prayer and meditation. And that just blew me away. You know, I've always loved words. Sometimes words can just hit me in a different way, and I suddenly know what to do. So I really tried with my 11th step to have discipline. And something else that I heard here in the 11th step workshop was another guy said, that my 11th step starts in my 6th and 7th sometimes. My character defects, like for me, I have a hard time making sure I go to bed early enough so that I can wake up early enough to do my prayer meditation, because I have a busy job and a busy life. But if I make time for my 11th step, I've really nourished something really special this year with doing that. And I apply a lot of what Father Bill W. has taught me. And it was so great to hear him, to get a refresher from him last week or the week before here. I do the quiet time. I do spiritual reading. I do the two-way prayer, and I sit quietly. And sometimes my quiet time is an hour, and sometimes it's 20 minutes. Yeah, I feel like I've been on this journey with you all. I remember when Ali posted about Ralph's Big Book workshop saying, oh, I've been meaning to check this out. And I just feel like there's certain people that I've grown with here, and it's out of my comfort zone to share in such a big meeting, because keeping the hand up for a while, my heart just, it can't really take it. But I'm at this point now where I'm on WhatsApp with people. I keep meeting people, and we share about these pocket of enthusiasm meetings. And I just feel really grateful. I'm back at work now, but I couldn't resist signing on tonight. So thank you, Ali, and thank you for my invigorated 11th step.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alex. Sorry, somebody muted me. Annie Higgins, come on up, please.
Hey, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever everyone is. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Annie. I just wanted to, I wanted to have the opportunity on a big platform to thank Ollie and Teresa. This last year has done a number on many of us, and this meeting, the Facebook group has done so much for me. Most particularly, I heard Teresa share her experience a couple of years ago in Philadelphia, and it changed my life. There's no way that I can possibly put it into words in any other way. I'm forever changed by hearing her experience. And so whenever I see Teresa's name anywhere, I just want to follow her. I want to follow her, and I want to get everything and anything that I can from her. From just the amount of grace that comes out of your mouth when you share, when you speak, your adorable little laugh, and just everything that you embody. It's truly admirable, and I want to be like you someday. The 11th step is, so many people have shared so many amazing things, and the one thing that I try to remind myself is to give myself grace when it comes to the 11th step. Not to beat myself up. I have a toddler at home. I'm not a newbie in AA by any means, but I'm also not an old timer. But sometimes I just don't have the time to fit it in like I want to. And so I just give myself grace. I don't beat myself up. I do my very, very best. And as long as I am being true to myself, to thine own self be true, the first time that I read the 11th step prayer, the St. Francis prayer, I felt something in my soul change. The idea, the concept, the theory of being reborn is phenomenal to me. And when I can truly give my life to my Creator, my poor little mother, all she ever wanted was her little girl back. She always said that, I just want my little girl back. And what I was able to give her through 12 steps, a relationship with my Creator, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a brand new daughter. Like, I gave her a brand new spanking, hot off the press, little girl. And I don't get that. I don't get to do that for the love,
Time's up.
the people in my life without it. The 11th step is so important. This meeting is so important. And all of you who have shared, and I bet you, Ralph, you're a softie deep inside. I bet you are. You said you're not, but I don't know you, but I know you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Annie. Love you too. One of our co-hosts would like to share. Mickey, come on up, please.
Thank you, Ali. Good evening, brothers and sisters. My name is Mickey. I'm a grateful alcoholic. Whoa, how do I share this? So I'm just going to let it go. Firstly, I'm full of gratitude. You guys have given me the ability to meet people, as the big book says early on, that I would never have met. This whole Zoom experience for me has shown me the power, as Ralph has quoted many, many times, and I'm going to use this, the power of the power. And there's so many speakers and messengers that have come to this. And I've had the privilege to, one, build a foundation with the core group that puts this meeting together. And to Kuna, Vivek, Samantha, Ali, Teresa, I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To all of you, I thank you. I'm going to share very quickly about a transformation in this gentleman here. In March of 2020, I started a new job, started a brand new company, right? I got engaged earlier on that year. We were planning a family. COVID hit. Had to pivot. The company we started went from brand new into physical location to pivoting to work from home. Something started to happen in my personal relationship where that relationship started to deteriorate. Thankfully, through good sponsorship, through doing the work, through coming to meetings like this, all the good stuff got to my head and my ego started to grow. Then I had messengers like Teresa say something like this: grow God, shrink wealth. Grow God, shrink wealth. And I held on to that because it made me laugh, but it made me remember, right? And through good sponsorship and doing the work, I learned humility. I learned that don't worship the gifts, Mickey. You forgot about what brought you the gifts, which is the gift giver. And this experiential step study on step 11 has shown me that the last part of the sentence is the power to carry that out. You guys feed me the power through your experience because you make what this experience is real for me, right? There's so many nuggets of information I've taken down in the background. And I'll tell you something. I mentioned the relationship in my engagement. Unfortunately, near the end of this year, that engagement broke and it destroyed me. But being in service and being here with you, because that partner of mine went back out, she's one of us. But I can see what a lack of power is doing. And the messengers have come to this workshop every Tuesday. You guys talk to me right here where I need to hear it. You pick me up, you give me a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning because I need to be here with my tribe because everything's going to be okay because you guys have taught me to let go and let God. And I'm learning what that is through your experience. And I want to continue to be here. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying this. I love you guys. I thank you all. And please, please see you next week too. And see you there afterwards. See where this goes. I love you.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for all your service, brother. Love you too. Lee T, come on up, please.
Hi, I'm Lee and I'm an alcoholic and I'm so pleased to have found this group. I found this group when at your conference, somebody just said, hey, there's this conference going on in Toronto, you gotta listen to it. And I listened to it for 2 full days. It was absolutely fabulous. So thank you very much. And these workshops that you've been having, the Step 11 has been absolutely invaluable to me, listening to speakers and then, participating, listening to the questions. And I also want to say I love coming to Wednesday to listen to Steve and Ralph. Is it Steve and Ralph? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so thank you so much. And all the people in the background that are doing all this work, you guys got to run, you got a well-oiled ship here, a really well-oiled ship. And I love the way you do it. Can you step up, please? I like that. Anyway, so I wanted to say that in terms of step 11, improving my conscious contact with God has involved a lot of things because of the meetings that I have found that have helped me develop my relationship with God. And that involves things like meditating. A 12-step crew that I have helped me by telling me, there are tapes to listen to that you can do meditation. There are things that you can listen to on YouTube. And there's things that you can do to start your day upon awakening and so on like that. And it's been wonderful to start my day at least 4 days a week listening to that. And I think that I have been working on my conscious contact with God an awful lot more. And a lot of the kind of things that I've had going for me with that is listening to you talk about your conscious contact with God and the practices that you have. But I would say 2 weeks ago, there was a woman named Mildred that shared at the meeting. No, she was the speaker at the meeting. And it was so beautiful to listen to her. And she gave me a jolt, an absolute jolt. Not a joke, it was jolt, because she was talking about her relationship with God and what was important to her and what was significant. And I spend time asking God that I can get close to you and that there's things that I want to know and there's things I want and this and that. And it's certainly all focused on me. And one of the things that Mildred was talking about was, I believe what she was talking about, which was there's another question here, and that's what can I do for you, God? It's about seeking that direction and getting those decisions made correctly, but getting an answer and hearing what can be done. And the other last couple of days, so in the daily reflections, there was two things that stuck out to me, was that good is okay and best is better. You know?
Time's up.
So I just wanted to say thank you so much for this group. And I, you know, if I had to list all the things that I've learned here and another group that's 164, it's been amazing, catapulted in a way that I had no idea that my program was just sort of plodding along. This has been an amazing thing. Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for being here. Just to let everyone know, I'm also going to insert people that the Spirit moves me to call on that don't have their hands on. But if the people that have their hands on, you will be called on. So it won't be at your cost. Okay, so please don't worry about that. John Pine, come on up, please.
Thank you, Ali, and thank you, Teresa. John Pine, alcoholic, live in Richmond, Virginia, and I looked at my calendar and I added this to my calendar last June 16th because anything to do with Fellowship of the Spirit, I'm probably going to be there, you know, if I can, because yeah, being in these meetings on Tuesday night has just reminded me how blessed I have been and the people that God has put in my path, you know, from my early days in London and being on a business trip to Poland in February, and I thought my boss had a resentment against my boss, you know, February boss, you know, and going to an English speaking meeting and hearing Sandy Beach on a tape, because these two guys were so grateful to see me in an English speaking meeting. And I got to host Sandy Beach, you know, about 12, 13 years later and at the state convention in Virginia. I got to host Mr. Ralph White at a Serenity Weekend down in Williamsburg, Virginia. You know, I got to host Don Major at the state convention in 54th state convention in Richmond, Virginia. Steve Lee is a friend of mine because of Alcoholics Anonymous. I can go on and on. You know, Don Pritz is a guy, you know, I can hear him talk every day I want to, and he's been gone 12, 13, 14 years now. Amazing how this works, and what can it be ascribed to except a power greater than myself, because I deserve none of this by the way I lived before I got to Alcoholics Anonymous, believe me. And today, you know, these people are in my life, even if I don't see them all the time. You know, Gary Brown, Don Olson, beautiful people, and the gifts they give so freely just astounds me. You know, I'm not even speaking, and you know, and I'm tired. You know, what Ralph and Steve are doing every Wednesday night. I want to be there, but you guys doing such great service. You send the tapes. You know, I know what it takes to put this on. We put on the Fellowship of the Spirit Mid-Atlantic for a lot of years. First a big conference at a hotel and a mishmash, and then retreats, you know, which are a little bit more fun. And I just got to say that there will never be enough time for me to listen. There will never be enough service for me to give back to Alcoholics Anonymous what I've been given here. And yeah, pain usually drives me back to meditation and prayer if I'm slacking. But you know, pain drove me to my sponsor in Pennsylvania, and he handed me a set of tapes from Clint Hodges, who I didn't know it at the time, had been gone through the steps with Don Pritz, and I moved to Virginia and met some more beautiful people, and had Don staying in my house for a couple of weekends way back when. So God bless you, Teresa. God bless you, Ali. If you're ever in Richmond, Virginia, just ask anybody, and they give you my number. Thanks.
Thank you, John. We may take you up on that. Jill K, come on up, please.
Hey, I'm Jill. I'm an alcoholic. You turn my camera on. Glad to be here. And I don't have nearly as much time as a lot of you have. But I do notice I have gotten through the 11th step, and I do notice that it has been extremely powerful for me in the past year, and like praying for my enemies and praying for people that I have resentments about. I noticed that it works. And when I was a little girl, I knew that. And I forgot it when I was out drinking and just felt like it was me against the world. And I have a incredible sponsor who's like, you got to get out of the self-pity and into the gratitude. And as far as the 11th step goes, I keep just sort of leaning in more. And I see it even with my daddy, who we've always, and I'm, 48 in 3 days. And my sponsor is much younger and wiser, and I appreciate her so much. But I just feel like the more that I lean into it and trust what I can't control, that things happen in a better way that I could have scripted myself. So I'm really thankful for the program, and then just the day-to-day stuff, because sometimes I get carried away by things that blow me away, and I just think, just trust that there's a magical unicorn riding a rainbow in the sky kind of thing, and I just do it with intention and sincerity, and things just come out better somehow. So I'm grateful to be here and grateful for the recommendation of this meeting. And I've been hearing to some of the things with Ralph and the guy in Nashville, which I'm in Nashville. So I'm grateful to y'all, and thanks so much. And thanks, Ollie, for helping me get hooked in to listen to him when I can't be on. So thanks.
Thank you, Jill. Valerie, come on up, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Valerie, and I'm an alcoholic, and I apologize for the crackliness of my voice. I just want to thank the people who work behind the scenes to start here. Nikki and Samantha and Vivek and Kuna. Thank you so much. I know what it takes to do the work you do. And Ali and Teresa, thank you so much for bringing us such great speakers this week. I can't tell you how much I have enjoyed it and how much I love you. I was looking at my calendar, and I've been with you almost since the first couple of weeks. And it's hard to believe that a year has already gone by. So I just wanted to say that I feel incredibly grateful that I have met so many important people to me and to my sobriety in this particular meeting. It has changed my life over the last year. This has been a very important meeting to me. I try really not to miss it. It's like having an advanced opportunity to be in a program on the 11th step, and I'm humbled by how much I have yet to learn about the 11th step. One last thing I just want to share. I don't hear a lot of talking about books that people are using. I want to say that one of the things that has been helpful to me is I've done a little two-way prayer. I've done a little two-way prayer in a group of people. And I think that it's helpful, it's been helpful for me to share my meditations with others. I participate in a group of women who text input to each other every morning after doing their meditation. And one of the books that has been helpful to me to read for meditation is the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. That's N-E-P-O. And it's just been a really wonderful book for me for this year. So thank you all. I love you, and I am so grateful to be here.
Thank you, Valerie. We love you. Lars, come on up, please.
Sorry about that, Alec. I'm Lars. I'm an alcoholic. I'm in New York. So just to mention, so we cover a lot of geography here. We know Ralph and all of them are in California. Ali, you're in Toronto, and everyone else. Ali, thank you so much. And Kuna, thank you so much, and your entire team that runs this. I'm tremendously appreciative of this. I pray every morning, and I have since like a couple days into sobriety, and generally on my knees, which someone said to do that a couple days into sobriety, because it's humbling myself to my God and my higher power more significantly. And I do specifically pray for my higher powers, knowledge of my higher powers will for me and the power to carry that out. And then I try to stay conscious of that and cognizant of that throughout the day. And I think I've been really directed within this last year by my higher power. My program, my appreciation for the big book has grown significantly. It's been really invigorated. And I think it's really been my program transformational. I mean, the fact that, and what's happened, I think within Zoom is extraordinary. I think we've gone through a period of renaissance. And I think when we have the next edition, which is, the fourth edition came out in 2001, next edition, this has got to be written about. And it's really extraordinary. I mean, I was listening to someone in Jerusalem, Israel. And I'm at Ralph's Big Book workshop every Sunday morning, which is one of, peak of the week. And and I have had a incredibly increased appreciation for the Big Book, deeply. And part of that is Ralph's Sunday morning Big Book workshop. And at the end of We Agnostics on page 57 in big letters, it says, "Grow God, shrink Ralph." And I wrote, I wonder how many books say that. So, which is wonderful. And I've got it also something I'm focusing on, listening to I've listened to a lot of speakers lately, is emotional sobriety. Got to keep my eye on the ball, keep my eye on emotional sobriety, which is getting out of self into others, God consciousness, because I can be agnostic and I can be dry in program if I don't watch it. And I've got to be, it's getting appreciating myself and really being gentle on myself. So a message is for me to say is
Time's up.
be gentle on myself and be gentle with others and spread love, peace. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Lars. Franz, come on up, please.
Oh, I didn't know it was up so quickly. Hi, everyone. My name is Franz. I am an alcoholic. Whoop. I'll put my video back on. Yeah, I was just sitting here listening to everyone, not thinking I'm going to say anything, but, I was brought back to when we first went into the pandemic, and I think one of the first speakers was KDP. And I had asked Ali for her number, something like I would never have done before. And I reached out to her, and I wanted her to listen to a fifth, right? I was ready to do anything at that point in my recovery. And she didn't listen to a fifth, but she introduced me to a big book workshop that her and Charlie had done in Florida. And she sent me all the tapes, and I got 3 other girls from my sponsor and 2 other girls involved. And since then, because, of this pandemic, as Lars said just before me, so much has changed for me personally, worldwide, but for me personally. And it started with you guys. I didn't realize that started here, but it started with this group and Katie. And then it was Chris and Myers workshop. Wow, just blew me away. I'm from a small town of 2,000 people up in a boonies near Thunder Bay. And we had small groups. And then I moved to a city of Sudbury for 10 years. And still there, we hardly talk about the big book. And through Zoom, like I've been just, exposed to all of this knowledge and all of this people who've gone through this stuff. And my biggest thing was like, I've moved to Alberta 5 months ago because I met a sponsor, and there's other things too, but I still keep asking God, like, why did I feel so? Because for a year I felt called to move here. My mom's getting older. She lives out here. I want to look after her, but it started with you guys, and Myers and all that. Now I'm doing that Wednesday night experimental steps to that study, and I'm working really close with a sponsor. And I'm like, wow, like Teresa's message last Wednesday, wow, that just blew me out of the water, talking about defects, and a lot of defects have been coming up for me lately. And I'm like, I don't like it, but I like getting to know what I'm like and having the opportunity. Well, okay, yeah, that's the way I am, sister. But I'm working on changing it. I'm human. It's a human condition. Who would have known?
Time's up.
All right. Thank you, Puna. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, everyone, for being here and making it what it is.
Thank you, Franz. Yuna, come on up, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yuna, and I am an alcoholic, and thank you so much for being here. I've been transformed because of this meeting. My very first meeting with Fellowship of the Spirit was when Teresa spoke. And I wasn't sure who you were, what the Fellowship of the Spirit was, because I thought, well, what is that funny name that they're using? And I've been sober for 28 years, so that tells you how much I open my big book. But since this AA Zoom platform, I have a more understanding of what our program is. When I get up in the morning now, I pray. The first thing I do is I thank God for my sight, because I have a degenerative eye disorder. And then I tell him, wherever you go today, I will follow. And whatever I can do for you today, please let me know. Then I try to reach out to people. I have a new sponsor in California. That happened. That was God. And she's 7 years sober and has more of a handle on this big book than I ever had. And I swallowed my pride, and I reached out to her, and she's helped me through my steps again. And like I said, I've transformed. So she tells me or suggests to me 5 things to do. I read pages 80, 84 to 88, and I pray and I reach out to people and I try to be of service. And I learned that through here. And when I reached out to Ali to find out about this meeting again, back in April, I think it was April 14th, and I don't know why I remember that date, but I did. And he just, and I've since then I've reached out to him, and just his to take the time to reach out and just not just send 2 or 3 words, but a big long message. And it's God. It's God. And I look at that face, Ali, and that smile. It's God. And Teresa, you awakened me when I heard you last year. And I thank God that I've been transformed and I've been awakened. I have a new conscious contact with my higher power. And I have spiritual joy. And I haven't had that for a very, 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 very long time. And it's only going on this platform. I do the big book studies, I do the steps, and I have Grow God and Shrink Wealth in my big book too. And I say that quite often. And I thank God for you people. I love you all. Thank you, Kuna.
Man,
Thank you,
Ralph,
Una.
you're gonna be shrunk for sure, Ralph. Everybody, we got hundreds of people praying to shrink Ralph and grow God. That's right.
Oh, that's great. Love you, Una. I bet you, Ralph, you didn't think you're going to be on the spotlight like this. Eh? Well, I'm going to quote Ralph too. I appreciate you, love you. Just to let you know that the only thing you ever seen in me is what's inside of you. And I'm going to steal Ralph's line is that we're all what God with skin on them. Something like that. I probably butchered it, right? We're all God with skin on them. Thank you. All right. Siobhan, come on up, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm an alcoholic. My name's Siobhan. So grateful that I could be here for the 1 year. I started out with Fellowship of the Spirit through the home group of them. And then when I heard that they were starting this, I was so excited because I had been working with a new sponsor for a few months at that point, and we were already starting to do so many different things with the program that I was really excited about this. And one of the pieces of literature that I've been reading for most of the new year so far is The Worthy of Love. Oh, sorry, virtual screen. And the bookmark that I have in it is actually the Step 11 prayer that one of my fellow sisters in the program wrote and laminated for me a while ago. So I thought that was pretty fitting when I opened it up this morning and realized what bookmark I actually had in this. And there's just one sentence that I want to read because I think it really relates to the 11th step, in my opinion. We often neglect individual development, opting instead for a closeness with others that defies real love and stifles our growth. And that's what I really need to focus on when I'm paying attention to further improving my relationship with God through the prayer and meditation. And thank you all for how much you put into this workshop. I love you all, and I'll let somebody else share the spotlight before Kuna tells me to stop.
Thank you, Siobhan. Vivek, would you come on up, please? Another one of our co-hosts would like to share.
Thank you, Ali. My name is Vivek. I'm an alcoholic. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start. In my journey, I just want to thank every one of you guys, all of us in here, including Kuna, Mickey, Ali, Teresa, Samantha. Oh my goodness. It's like this guy here, you talk about transformation. I've never smiled like this. And I always smile when this meeting happens. And I know some of us here know me with my steps I'm doing. But what transformed me was I've been in and out of the program since the age of 25. I'm 50 years old, and I never knew about step 11. I was always into prayer, but I had no idea that Alcoholics Anonymous there is prayer and meditation. And I was attending meetings, closed meetings. I did my steps. I was sober for 4 or 5 years at a time and stretch, but never, ever once it came to me that prayer and meditation is the core of the program. And when I came out of Renaissance and when I met Ali and my home group, that's where I learned this. And when this started, and I attend as much as I can, and I didn't attend the first few, but it has been just overwhelming. And the things I learned, which I laugh about till today, listen to learn, not listen to reply. I got it from here, from one of the speakers, clean house, trust God, help others. Like these kind of things, my hair is standing when I'm saying these things because of how I feel about this. From my inside, my soul, it just comes out and says, oh my goodness, Vivek, you're thinking completely different. And it's a daily thing for me. And I was talking to my sponsor last night after a while, and we were talking about this, and it is amazing of what we do here. And Ali and Teresa and everybody else, thank you very much. And for my journey in this and with the Step 11 workshop, thank you very much. And see you guys Tuesday and see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for your service, brother. Before Teresa closes out with whatever moves her to close this out, I'm just move no hands up. So I'm gonna, as a spirit's been calling Kashina. I don't know why. Kashina, come on up, please.
Hi, I'm Kashina. I'm an alcoholic. That's so funny. When I got on here and you're like, oh, we might just call on people. I was like, oh, I got to sign off. And then as I sat and I thought about this year, I was like, I have so much to share. And then I thought, but I can't because I'll just start crying, with like gratitude. And then my sponsee shared and I did just start crying, because I could see the growth in her. And what I just kept thinking about is this, it works, it really does. Right? For so long in my sobriety, I could believe that there was a higher power. But to trust that higher power, I was like, mm-mm. And I'd call my sponsor. And when she'd say God, and Teresa's my sponsor, so it was a lot of God, right? Where's God in that? I'd be like, oh, that can't be the answer. That can't be the answer. Somebody else tell me the answer. Tell me what to do, right? I was like, I don't want to hear God. He's not going to fix this. God can't fix it. And this year I found that God has fixed it all and that God is the answer. And the one thing that this meeting has done for me is gotten me just excited to seek. Like every day, the change in me is every day I say, where's God? Throughout the day, I say, where's God? When something comes up, I go, oh, where's God? That's huge for me. And I believe that God works, that he will, that it will be okay. And this meeting, I mean, I've been here every day. I think I've missed maybe twice. I even got a job and they said, what days are you not available? I said, I can't work Tuesday nights. Because I knew I had to be here. I was like, I can't work Tuesday nights. I'm available any other time. And just noticing that, I wake up and it's like getting plugged in, right? I think Ralph says that too. We got to plug in. And in the morning, I remember, oh, I got to plug in. Because I went so long without plugging in dry that I'm like, I don't ever want to do that again in my sobriety. I've been the happiest I've been in my entire life this last year. And it's been a year, but it's on the inside that I'm at peace and I'm okay and I'm happy. And I know that I have this power. That's the difference, is I know I have this power. And because of that, I'll be okay regardless of anything that's happening. And this meeting reminds me of that. And so I just, in the morning, I just do what, upon awakening, think about the 24 hours ahead. How am I showing up today? How do I want to show up to the world today? What can I contribute to life today? And then throughout the day, I'm just like, hey, God, how we doing? You know what I mean? And I liked one of the speakers mentioned like lighting sage and doing that. And I've been incorporating that. I really like that. It actually helps me to, the first thing I wake up and I do that. And then I start just praying and meditating and finding God. So just lighting that sage when I first wake up helps me to be like, yeah, I gotta plug in. So anyway, that's so funny that you're like, I feel like the Spirit's calling Kashina, because I was like, I feel like I could share. So anyway, thanks guys. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here every week and I love you all.
Thank you, Kashina. See, the Spirit doesn't lie. Please, I love you all. Don't be offended. There's room for one more, and the Spirit is just calling Rico. I don't know why he's calling Rico. Rico, my brother. You gotta unmute.
Hang on.
There you go.
Let's see.
There you go. We can hear you.
Okay, technical difficulties here. My name is Rico Cruz, for recovered alcoholic. Mic is not on. It's not?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear
Can
you.
you?
Oh no, same thing as last time. Oh no. One more try. One more try.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes? All right. My name is Rico Cruz. I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic. Man, this hard to squeeze into 3 minutes for Boricua, what this group has been to me. I've been interested in Step 11 for a while, and I don't talk about it, brag about it. I talk to a lot of people about it, except people I work with. But when this meeting came up, Teresa told me about it. We were still in the thinking and planning stages. I said, yeah, why don't you just come and support us? I said, oh, that's cool. You know, Tuesday night is cool. We're not doing that. I told Lynn, I'm gonna start going to this meeting Tuesday night. And I could tell something happened to me because about 4 weeks in, I asked Ali, hey, Ali, how can I make this my home group? You know, my workshop's my home group, but I wanted to be a part of this. You know, I didn't have to speak or dance or sing. I just wanted to be a part of this energy. And that has happened. This is my COVID is closer to me than my family, because this is how and when and where we communicate. And I've met so many wonderful people in this room who are like family to me. I don't want to call them out, off, and then I'll be on their resentment list. But that might bring me some prayer, because they have to pray for me. But you know, it's like one of my favorite topics. Here we go, a no God baby. And ironically, I come in here and step 11 becomes my favorite step. But step 11 would never become my favorite step if step 1 I had dug in. I was really suffering from. That's what helped me appreciate step 11. But I've met some wonderful men and women in this room that I've established relationships with. A couple of men, Ali, you one, Calvin, there's Mickey, Kuna. I mean, I'm not a guy's guy, but I am. And it's because I had all sisters and no brothers. So I tend to lean toward the men, finally, in this part of my life. But man, there's not a, Webster was a heavy dude, but he wasn't heavy enough to describe what goes on in this meeting. And I love it, I need it, I want it. And to you and all your crew, I want to say congratulations, because I didn't even know a year was up. You know, I didn't even realize that went by. This is just something I do on Tuesday. But the energy in this room, and I'm gonna close with this, listen to this, talking about step 11 being spiritual. The energy in these squares have been far greater than energy I felt in the rooms. Because this is the only way we can do this deal. If nobody told you they love you today, I got a God that loves you, and I love you even more. Thank you for letting me share.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rico. Love you, brother. Teresa, would you come on up and close us off?
Teresa, alcoholic. Grateful to be here. Grateful to be sober because of a loving God. Welcome anybody who's new. Please keep coming back. I know the old timers. Thank you for my life and my sobriety. So many things have come to mind. I've been excited to hear from everyone, because that's what this is really all about. You know, all of us having our experiences and sharing them and taking them in and seeking. And that was one of the main things when Ali talked and I talked about it, that during COVID, first thing that came to my mind is that people were going to be in isolation or hanging out with family members longer than they had ever done before, you know, and they're going to need prayer and meditation. This is the one tool that was going to allow many of us to survive isolation. And it was an invitation. I felt as though Mother Earth, God, the planet needed an opportunity to excel and to breathe. And it was an invitation for seeking God, stepping outside of the hustle and the bustle and the running. And even though it's a tragedy, at the same time, it was an invitation to get in touch with the source. Something that I've been living all these years. And this has been my survival. In a way, my life has been like a pandemic. Anybody who knows me, sponsors, grant sponsors, I've had crisis after crisis and pandemics after pandemics. And my reliance has had to be with a power greater than me. And Rico mentioned it. It's the powerlessness that actually brings me to the place of seeking. It's been an honor and a privilege just to co-host. You know, sometimes speaking is great, but I like being in the sidelines. You know what I mean? I like watching. And I also love the fact that I can multitask. I have a lot of stuff going on and I can start it and I can listen to you. And even though earlier I was really excited to like see everybody and let you see me, and I put a pan in the oven and forgot to take off the wrapper. So I was like, what's that smell? I was like, oh shit, I'm burning up plastic. Anyway, that was funny. So anyway, and I was thinking about a couple of words came to me. There are spectators and they are participants. And I'm not a sports person, but I always refer to my nephews. And I watch them when they're not even in the game, but they're paying attention to the players, right? And they're paying attention to the game and they're making note of it. And that's how I feel a lot of times, even when I'm in this meeting and other meetings where I'm in it. I'm not just a spectator, right? I'm not just watching. That's great for entertainment. I'm in the game too. You know what I mean? I'm listening. I'm making notes. I'm taking notes. That's what players be doing, right? That's why they sit the way they do on the bench, and they be watching and stuff like that. And then they can't wait till it's their turn to get in the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel. Then I can't wait till I get in this thing called life and I get in the game, man. I become a participant. But when I'm participating, it is a conscious awareness and the presence of all that I have absorbed, obtained, let go of. And that's how I participate. And that's how I see the game of life, man. And part of this meeting does that for me. I get to let's get in the game and let me apply some of the things that I heard and I learned. And let me put a little bit more on that. You know what I'm saying? Or the things that may not apply right now, I put it on the shelf because I know I might reach for it later. So it's just been crazy. And then I was also thinking about even today, the powerlessness. Most of you know I take care of my mom, right? And we want to talk about being in a state where one isn't running the show. And for me, that's been as a caregiver. And anyone who has babies or children or anyone who has illnesses, it certainly lets me know I'm not running nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that I want to do that I can't do, mainly because the other person can't do it for themselves. There's one thing where I'm playing God in somebody's life and they could do it for themselves. It's another thing where I've been around a lot of people who can't do it for themselves. And I've had to give up of self. And in order to do that, I have to rely on a power that is greater than me because I within myself can't take care of these people. You know what I'm saying? I just really can't. I also think about one time the social workers asked my nephews, why was it that they turned to me so much? Why do you always turn into your aunt? Because their mother was upset about that. Like they're always calling her. They're always looking for her. Aside from the fact that I've been a part of their life, but it was like, what was that? And I think what really filled me up to hear, when they say she was just a great aunt, was they said, and it was interesting that they had this perspective. They made note of it. They were like, you see, the thing about my aunt is that no matter what's going on in our life, she doesn't turn to herself. She turns to something greater to help us. That is powerful, y'all. Do you know what I'm saying? They know that when they call me or they ask me something, I go, give me a minute. And you know what I'm saying? Because if you leave it up to me, even somebody with a problem, somebody in school, you leave it up to me, I'm just kicking the ass straight up. You know what I'm saying? You messing with them, that's it. Somebody's getting an ass whooping. But I have to be like, give me a minute. They know that I have learned through these steps to do everything possible to get rid of self. Because the source that I'm going to tap into loves me, loves them, and is going to resolve this, not just for them or for me, but for all. And they see the results, you know? And that's what this step has given me. I also was thinking about, even, this sounds a little gross, but straight up, this is my experience. I'm over here talking about powerlessness. I want to listen to the meeting. I got to cook food because it's time for them to eat. I'm burning up plastic in the oven, right? And mommy is standing there. Mommy's like, look, and I could tell she got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? Now, for real? All day I've been trying to get her to do a bowel movement, you know what I mean? Just to take care of that before. But no, let's do it right now. I'm cooking, the meeting's going on. If somebody's taking a bowel movement, I can't rush her, you know. And then she has Alzheimer's. So even in the middle of a bowel movement, she don't remember she's doing it. And I'm like, okay, we got to get it out. You know what I mean? We got to go. And wait a minute, it's funny. At the same time, I got the timer for the food in the oven, right? And the timer's like, tick, tick. It's just funny. Wait. I'm like, okay. Oh my goodness, this has been my experience. What do I have to do? I have to ask God, not just people say, let go and let God. No, I need to ask, remove from me. You see what I'm saying? You need to remove from me what I want, what I think, what I believe. Just remove it. Remove it so that I could be where you are. And where is God? In the present moment. So I could be in the present moment, because in the present moment is exactly as it should be. And that's what reduces self. To me, when I say grow God, shrink Ralph, what I'm saying is let's get rid of self so that the only thing that is present is the now, and that's where God is. And when I come to that place, then I'm okay. When I feel exhausted, when I think I can't do it anymore, or I think it's unfair, when I get into that place, through this conscious contact with God, using these tools, somehow all is well. And it's exactly as it should be. That has saved me through illnesses, through so much. It has stretched my spiritual muscles, man. Oh my goodness. And one more thing I want to end with, Sandy Beach. I always hear Sandy Beach in my head, and Sandy Beach always said, either we're going to live in our defects of character or we're going to live in God's will. Everything else is an illusion. That's right. Everything else is an illusion. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate Ali, all those in the back and the sidelines showing up. You have changed me this year. Changed me in so many ways. It has been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this life-changing, life transformation program that overall embraced by the love, the compassion of God. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.